Somebody got a haircut. Cheer up, Charlie. Na 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 na. Cheer up, Charlie. Charlie got a haircut. Charlie got a haircut. Charlie's on a vacation far away. Cut it off and talk it over. He doesn't look very happy to be my co-host. He's like, all right, enough. I've had enough.
Yes.
All right, back to business. Wolfstreet.com. Auto loan subprime implodes. Like Lehman-Moment-Like, if you will. But there is no financial crisis. These are the boom times. Given Americans' ceaseless urge to borrow and spend, household debt in the third quarter surged by $610 billion, or 5%, from the third quarter last year to a new record of $13 trillion, according to the New York Fed. If the word surged appears a lot, it's because that's the kind of debt environment we now have, such as mortgage debt surged 4.2% year over year to $9.19 trillion, still shy of the all-time record of $10 trillion in 2008 before it all collapsed. Student loans surged by 6.25% year over year to a record $1.36 trillion. Oh, that one hurts. Oh boy, that one hurts. That's how people give him Big Schreier a hard time the other day when he mentioned that his son not, wondering if he should even bother sending his son to college. And I was like, no, you've got to do that. What about the doctors and the nurses and yeah. There's certain instances where that's necessary. Pretty much confined to the medical industry. That's it. Everything else, you're wasting your effing time. Plain and simple. I taught myself how to program watching freaking YouTube videos to start with years ago. Paid for a little course that I found on a YouTube video on Microsoft Access databases, and the first like 4 10-20 minute videos were free. And then I'm like, oh, I need more. This is good stuff. So you have a little course, you pay $150. Oh, cha-ching, no problem, I'll do it. Learn how to do that. Then that developed. We can only do so much with Microsoft Access. Then I decided to take the delve into Visual Basic.NET environment because it's similar to MS Access, but not exactly the same. It would have been much more of a leap if I went into C# like that. But anyways, I taught myself. How do I do this? Look it up on the internet. How to do that? Look it on the internet. Next thing I know, I'm building this remote control program. That's a pretty amazing thing, by the way, to build a freaking remote control program from scratch. I mean, I did buy a library to help the communication, but everything else I built. No college degree, no college whatsoever. Unbelievable. Again, you're better off taking any money you have set aside for your kid. I've got $15,000 for you, son or daughter, when you're ready for college. You effing idiot. Put it in cryptos right now. Right now. Son, daughter, I decided to opt you out of college. Instead, here's, it's 5 years later from when you're ready to go to college now, right? Yeah. Listen, this is what that college fund did. Matter of fact, I can pay for your college in full now, tapping out of this if you really want it. Or we can leave it in here and let it compound, and you can do whatever the hell else you want. And maybe something you enjoy. Or again, you could go to college if you want because the money's here now. But, not buying it. And a guy was telling me a story the other day in email. I forgot if I mentioned this to you. And his daughter, I think I did mention to you, she had like $1,200 saved up from a really long time. Took her a long time. She was young. She found out he took some of her money away. I forgot what it was up to at the time. But he took a bunch of it out, which I say a bunch, like $1,300 or something. She noticed it a couple weeks later. Dad, did you do that? Yeah, I took it out. I put it into Bitcoin. Are you crazy? Why did you do that with my money? He said, listen, in a year from now, we're going to have this discussion. And if you don't like where Bitcoin is at that moment, I'll give you back, plus a little interest of what I took out, right back in your account cash. You'll have the option to pick that or keep the Bitcoin. They had the conversation recently. Oh my God, was she happy with her little Bitcoin investment, okay? Anyways, next one, credit card debt surged 8% to $810 billion. And then other, one of my favorite topics, other surged 5.4% to $390 billion. And auto loans surged 6.1% to a record, of course, record $1.21 trillion. But there's one person on the face of the earth that I can assure you, two people, Jason Ip and his wife, don't have any auto debt and is about to buy a freaking RV used. Granted, I would never buy a brand new one. I couldn't do that. Super expensive. With crypto profits. And I did this little epic move between Bitcoin Cash back to Bitcoin, take that out of there, put it over in the altcoins, put some in EOS. EOS went up to $1.50, scraped a little, you know what I mean? Got back out of Bitcoin Cash, but this RV, my friends, it's $26K. Just an FYI. Out the door, 28, taxes, you know, whatever. I just did that move over the last several days. Okay? I did that move with some cryptos. I am literally getting this RV with just the move I made over this past roughly weekend and the last few days. That's where the money's coming from. It cost me nothing, you could say. You could argue that. It cost you nothing. Except some profits off the top. Like, that, take the little, you know, ice cream off, you know, little whipped cream off the top. Just scrape a little bit of that off of there. I gotta read this email. Let me just pause this real quick. Stand by. I actually had a little question with YouTube. You know, when you have a certain number of subscribers or whatever, your channel is like you're a partner of Google or YouTube. You could actually reach out. You have over 10,000 views lifetime and this and that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, well, good. You'll actually talk to a human. And I just had some questions about the whole, you know, how does it that sometimes videos, I said I usually schedule them and they go live the next day. I know sometimes I'll put one up and almost immediately it's flagged before anyone's even viewed it. So something, speech to text, whatever, caught it and flagged it for some reason. I get that. But I have videos that are green. You know, green monetization means it's perfect standing, no problems. And then after 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views, then they get flagged as not advertiser, possibly, you know, advertiser friendly or whatever. And then I hit the button, review. And I said, you know, every time I review, I'm gonna tell you every single time, minus the rare occasion you guys say, no, actually it wasn't suitable. Most all the time it's suitable. You say, yeah, you were right. So my question is, do you think it's possible that just a bunch of people out there flagging videos or something could do this? And he said, no, that's not the case. It is simply machine learning going on. And each time you hit request review, and they say, yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. It's fine. It's fine. The machine is getting smarter. So ultimately, this nonsense should stop or become, you know, should happen very little. That's what I just got the reply back, so that's why I was kind of wanting to stop and just read that. But since it's educational, I want to share it with you too. Anyways, and given how the U.S. economy depends on consumer borrowing for life support, that's all good. However, there are some big ugly flies in that ointment. Delinquencies. Not everywhere, but in credit cards, and particularly in subprime auto loans, where serious delinquencies have reached Lehman-Moment proportions. You know, Lehman Brothers. Of the 1.2 trillion in auto loans outstanding, 282 billion or 24% were granted to borrowers with a subprime credit score below 620. Now, granted, well, maybe you're 610. Oh, okay. But let me tell you something. The 500 something credit scores, I will assure you, is mostly what's out there in these subprimes. Not someone with, you know, 619 almost made 620, you know. So anyways, of all auto loans outstanding, 2.4% were 90 plus days seriously delinquent, which is up from 2.3% in the prior quarter. So a 0.1%, it's higher. Again, you'd want to see that number going down, not up, you know, in a good economy. But delinquencies are concentrated in the subprime segment. That $282 billion, and all hell is breaking loose there. Subprime auto lending has attracted specialty lenders such as Santander Consumer USA. They feel they can handle the risks and they offloaded some of the risks to investors via subprime auto loan-backed securities. So this is, remember the mortgage-backed securities? This is the first time I've heard this. Subprime auto loan-backed securities. They've got a package for everybody. They want to cash in on the fat profits often obtained in subprime lending via extraordinarily high interest rates. Subprime borrowers are perceived as sitting ducks. They've been turned down, and they're aware of their bad credit, and they often think they have no other options. I need a car. I got to have a car. I got to go get one. What else? What can I do? You can get into cryptos, ride them up, and then buy a car cash. How about that? And so they often end up with ludicrously high interest rates on their loans, which these borrowers, because of their ludicrously high interest rates, have trouble servicing or paying. Of the $282 billion in subprime auto loans outstanding, finance companies originated 74%, according to today's data from the New York Fed. Banks and credit unions granted the remaining 26%. This chart shows the dominant share of subprime lending by finance companies. Total subprime auto loans, black line. Subprime auto loans originated by finance companies, red line. And subprime auto loans originated by banks, green lines. So for once, maybe the banks are, hey, the banks took it a little, we want some of that action too, but we're not going to go too crazy, 26%. But not all subprime loans are cut from the same cloth. The 90-plus day delinquency rate for the subprime auto loans originated by banks dropped after the financial crisis and has since remained fairly steady. In quarter 3, it was 4.4%, down from 7.1% at the peak of the financial crisis. So the subprime auto loan fiasco is not going to topple the banks, right? The banks have remained steady. This 9.7%, or wait a minute. In contrast, the 90-plus day delinquency rate for loans originated by auto finance companies has actually been soaring since 2013. In quarter 3, 2017, it hit 9.7%. Now, I'm going to tell you how that probably happened. Person knowing I don't want this outrageous interest rate, let me go to a bank, credit union, etc. Yes, I'm a subprime borrower. You see my horrible credit score. What can you do for me? Sir or madam, it's so effing bad, we can't do anything for you. Have a nice day. Okay, what's my next option? Go to the car dealer. We've got someone just for you who will get you approved. Be sitting behind the wheel Sunday at 10 a.m. Be sitting behind the wheel. Everybody's approved. And you got approved through one of these specialty lenders who are getting crushed. In quarter 3, 2017, it hit 9.7% delinquency rate. This 9.7% is the highest delinquency rate since quarter 1 of 2010. And it first hit that rate on the way up during the Great Recession in quarter 3, 2008, during the Lehman moment. A year later, it peaked at 10.9%. And I'm not going to show you this, but the chart above illustrates how banks have kept their subprime delinquencies under control, but not the auto finance companies. The New York Fed explains, putting it mildly, quote, "This suggests that bank auto loans may have some additional layers of underwriting. Credit score alone does not explain the gap in divergence in the delinquency rates." I would agree with that. The bank's seen enough from you that say, no, even though you have a job, we're still concerned. Have a nice day. But the auto lenders, specialty finance companies, we want all of you. I don't even want to know what some of the rates are. Matter of fact, I don't want to embarrass you though. I was going to say, if some of you are subprime and you got taken advantage by one of these places and you're outrageously high interest on a car loan, I felt like saying, hey, maybe post in the comments. But I don't want you to embarrass yourself. Or potentially. Maybe no one will say anything to you anyways, because we've all been in a hard place in our lives at one point or another, and you got to do what you got to do. If you got to get a high interest rate loan to do something, you got to do it, right? So there's no shame in that game, but just thought just out of curiosity and just to see what kind of crazy numbers might come out there of how high auto loans actually go on some of these things. I'm curious. So if you know the answer, maybe you're not even one, and you can just say, oh, I'm not in one of these loans, but I do know that they charge X amount of interest. Maybe you could just put it out like that. The other way of explaining this phenomenon is the auto finance companies. After years of zero, or near zero, interest rates and excess liquidity, and thus an easy way to offload these loans by securitizing them, had practiced loosey-goosey underwriting standards, if any standards at all. The next chart shows 90-plus day delinquencies. I think we ought to look at that one. of borrowers with a credit score that is just above subprime, which would be 620 to 659, and they too have been deteriorating at finance companies since 2013. This impacts $155 billion in loans, $84 billion originated by finance companies, and $71 billion by the banks. The delinquency rate at auto finance companies of these loans has reached 3.2%, the highest since Q3 2010, and it first hit that rate on the way up in Q3 2008. About that Lehman moment. That's the chart. Not looking real good. Again, if this is a forecast of what the future is going to look like for 2018, you know, my friends, and look back at 2012. This thing has been steadily, sure, there's little blips down, but then it just picks right back up. Why? Because we are a nation and a country and a freaking world that must remain in debt. You must spend and you must borrow. That is the current corrupt system we're in. Debt slaves. Except some of us who found this thing called cryptocurrencies and are using it while it lasts, because maybe it won't last forever. But I'm sure as hell using it. RV, van paid off. My little electric Nissan Leaf car paid off. Credit card. My wife had $500 remaining on a credit card. Gone. Get that crap out of my face. One of my coins moves that much in a day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of these things I'm in can move that in an hour or two. $500. Get it out of here. Get on out of here. But I do have a mortgage. It's the only thing I have at this point. But I told you, and it's my plan, again, crypto is willing, that sometime next year, I may be saying, listen, everybody, I told you there was a high probability of this happening, and I'm here to tell you I could pay my mortgage off right now if I wanted to. Might have to liquidate my whole crypto portfolio, but I could pay the whole entire house off. I'm telling you right now that that is a very high probability. Knowing where these coins have been going recently and where they're about to go. And I think some of you are going to be telling me the exact same thing. You might even be saying, Joe, I don't have to liquidate my whole portfolio, bro. A quarter of it, half of it, whatever. And then I can pay my house off and keep the other half. And that's where I want to be, honestly. I want to be in a position where I can wait. Don't just unload it all at once while they're still going up. Let's wait this out a little while, you know. Just a little bit longer. Please don't sell. Say you won't. All right, I won't. I'll wait. So that's my plan. Again, it's weird. This is the stuff that I always talk about. Like, this is the temperature gauge. Hey, this says we got a problem in the economy. This is not a recovery. Red alert. But when you have a Federal Reserve just buying everything up, how much do you want to bet the Federal Reserve can just, oh, all these defaults happening? We'll buy that trash off of these balance sheets. Not the banks have been good about it, but these lenders, these specialty lenders, we may do a little backdoor bailout on them, and we'll buy up those little secure, you know, mortgage or not. What was it? Auto. I gotta go back to that. What was that called again? Never to date. Haven't heard that word yet. Auto, subprime, auto loan backed securities. I feel like the guy, the Buffalo Bob on Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. Subprime, auto loan backed securities. Yeah, right over here. Step right up and give you as many as you want. We'll buy them all from you. So, whatever. They can do whatever the hell they want. I really don't give an F. Why? Because I'm trying to make it in cryptos. I'm trying to help y'all do the same thing too. So that we don't have to worry. If this all comes crashing down, it doesn't matter. Oh, hey, I've got enough money. I can buy a car cash. Used car, right? Don't have to be greedy and buy brand new. Joe, dude, you could probably afford a new Tesla, the T100 thing. The T90, man, runs 10.9 quarter mile. Yeah, listen, about Tesla. No, I don't want to spend that kind of money on a damn car. Even if I had $1 million in my pocket right now. No. And more rats are jumping ship on Tesla right now. Just an FYI. I couldn't consciously own a Tesla, knowing that this company has made no money to date. Forecast looks like it's not going to make any money. They're making parts by hand for the Model 3, whatever that thing was, the new one. Unbelievable. And I'm thinking, if this company goes belly up, you think there's going to be parts and things just laying around for your car? Tesla? This is not Honda. You know, Hyundai, Ford, GM. All right. It's one company that came out of nowhere, hasn't made a freaking profit yet, has been bailed out by the government through, SpaceX and all this other crap, whatever. And if Trump's tax plan goes through, you're effed in the A for tax breaks on electric vehicle stuff. So Tesla, you're getting screwed again. Lisa Her was some high up guys about to walk out now too or something. So, that old chestnut. Take care.